So, a lot of the times when we're going through our healing or our evolution from being stuck in the system to a state where we're more awake and aware of ourselves and what the system actually is and what it's doing. Hang on a second, I'm gonna open my curtain, let some light in. Anyways, funny thing, I haven't had a cold sore since I was 5. Strange. But it's going away quickly. Whatever. I actually don't even know if it's really a cold sore. I think it has something to do with my psoriasis because it's... Anyways, different story. But yeah, I see these posts, a lot of posts lately. It seems to be a trend about, people sucking the energy out of somebody, and then you see these before and after pictures. And it's not that the person isn't obviously suffering. And you can't, even I can show you before and after pictures from even when I went back to my ex the second time. I had reached not a great place, but not a bad place health-wise. And when I went back to him, oh boy. And if you were to look at even the pictures of me from 2-3 years ago to me now, there's a huge difference. But it's not that he was like some kind of mystical energy vampire that sucked the life out of me. I mean, it would be nice to just have that be the problem and be like, oh, you're the problem, right? Because then we wouldn't have to do any internal work or figure out how to do better. We could just say, it's that guy. That guy did it to me. It's all his fault. So if I get rid of him, I'll be great. It doesn't work like that. I guarantee you don't even know it, but you're an energy vampire to somebody else. And it's not that you intentionally do it. It's that sometimes people fixate on us and think about us a lot. And whether they intentionally are sending us energy or not, by them focusing thoughts and emotions and energy at us in our direction energetically, they're feeding us energy. Sometimes it can be negative, but some of us naturally transmute that. A lot of it can be positive, right? A lot of famous people or attractive people in general, and you don't have to be famous, you just be an attractive person. You might find you get a lot of positive energy sent your way. It can be intoxicating. You are not intentionally draining other people, but they're giving you a lot of energy. The other way this happens is when you're in a relationship that is toxic or abusive and you're not willing to own up to your part of that relationship for whatever reason. For me, I didn't want to own up to my part because it was big. I would have to admit that all the times that as a kid that I thought things had to just be a certain way in a relationship and things just had to be this way or that way for a relationship to exist. Because, why else would I have had to suffer so much as a kid, right? Relationships must be that way. Otherwise, how else could you explain all the trauma and the crap I went through? So for me, I really resisted my role in the relationship because I didn't want to face the truth that it had been a choice for my parents as much as it was for me. And that they always had the choice to do better and they just didn't want to, or they didn't feel the desire to, right? Or maybe they couldn't face, just like I wasn't ready at that point in my life, maybe they hadn't been ready either. It was a really big thing for me to have to face, so I resisted it. And I think a lot of us do that. We resist facing that because we're taught emotions are bad in the system. We're taught not to feel, but our emotions are our power. It's what teaches us who we are. It's what teaches us the things that make us feel good, the things that bring us to life. It's what shows us our highest good, our purpose. We disregard that. Instead, we want to blame other people. Well, they just suck the energy out of us. No, we were stuck in a pattern, and the pattern was very unhealthy, and they happened to fit into the pattern, right? We remove one puzzle piece of a pattern, and we replace it with another one until we are done with a pattern. And as somebody who likes patterns, I'll tell you that these little patterns that we do every day are part of bigger patterns that not only are part of our life cycles, but our ancestral life cycles that can actually go on into social cycles as well. It's quite fascinating once you start seeing how everything's connected. But the point is that we have to stop these narratives before they take a rolling ball and become huge, where it's like other people can drain you. You saying that is giving other people the power to drain you. You've just opened the door. You basically said, I believe it. And if you believe it, what happens? It becomes reality. So you have to be like, okay, no, I'm choosing to interact with this. As an example, you decide that you are no longer going to participate in gossip, okay? And I do this all the time, where I'm like, for me, it's junk food. I'm not going to eat junk food. I'm not going to eat junk food. But if I go somewhere where there's junk food, and especially if nobody's looking, and it's just me by myself, like, and I'm hungry because I forget to eat. I always forget to eat. It's like, but damn, that looks good. That looks really good right now. And then, of course, you start eating junk food. Well, if you decide to yourself, I'm not going to gossip anymore, I'm going to break that bad habit. I know it's a waste of energy, but yet you go around all the people that's all they do is gossip. It's going to be really hard not to gossip, right? So your choices matter, big time. And you have to take responsibility for your part. If you're choosing to participate in any way with a group of people that are doing activities that you're trying to not do, it's not going to work out so good. So you have to make better choices. And that's scary, because I can testify that it leaves you very lonely when you start realizing you don't want to participate in the things that are a waste of energy or that build bad karma. Because most people don't even know they're stuck in those cycles, because, like I said, they're not ready to face themselves. Instead, they want to say, oh, that person's sucking the energy out of me. Yeah, but you're letting them, because you want things to be a certain way and you're not willing to let go. Letting go was great. That was like one of the first things I ever did. It just happened to work out at the time where I found these videos by a gentleman called Aaron Doughty, and I was watching his videos at the same time as I was doing my trauma healing and doing. If you ever get a chance to look it up, look up the internal family systems, the IFS. It helped me so much, learning to recognize my parts and my pieces. And for me, when I started letting go, at first it was just letting go of my misconceptions of myself, letting go of the bad views, the bad programming I had received about all my parts and all my pieces, and about how parts of me weren't lovable or worthy. And then eventually, once I started, recognizing my parts and letting go of the stories regarding my parts, I started letting go of my stories for everything. And I mean everything, right down to, why I had to have breakfast, or why did I have to brush my hair, or what was the point? You know what I mean? I started giving things meaning I wanted them to have instead, because that is kind of the point of this game, right? Any of my gamers out there, when you play a game, you know that your purpose for playing that video game is never going to be exactly the same as everyone else in, say, your guild or your team or whatever it is that you, right? So some of you might be loner gamers, but for those of us who do like team games, right, where you have guilds or whatever we want to call it, every game thing's a little bit different lately. But I think that recognizing that our purpose for playing isn't necessarily always the same is really important, because that is going to change how we perceive our reality and what everything in our reality means to us individually. So then it comes down to respecting that we each have individual meanings for certain things, because our needs, our desires, our wants, our lessons are all different. They're all unique. And being responsible for our choices and everything makes us actually quite powerful, because it means we can choose to do better just by making a choice. Like a blink of an eye, I've chosen to do something different today. You can. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. But yeah, let's stop blaming. Blaming and shaming gets no one anywhere. Not even yourself. Just, don't participate in that shit. Okay, bye.